Well, I'm not sure if he's at my desk right, or if he's at his desk right now, so I don't know if he got my request for us to chat us something.
Okay. Well, we are broadcasting now, so we'll go ahead and get started. I don't think we have any viewers yet, but this will be recorded and will be available later on. So, hope we have some people that will join us. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'm Beth Cron, and I am the chair of the Records Management Roundtable. We got a little bit of a loop going.
All right, I have just tweeted it. Hi, those of you who don't know me, I'm Brad Houston. I am the immediate past chair of the Records Management Roundtable.
I think it's because I had that open.
Yes.
I should stop now. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm Beth Cron, and I am the chair of the Records Management Roundtable, and I currently work at the National Archives and Records Administration, and I am on the Records Management Policy team. And my team is responsible for creating policy for federal agencies on what they should be doing with their records. And so we'll talk a little bit more about some of the challenges we face in our jobs and some things that we're excited about. So we'll go around the table here. How about Brad up next?
Okay. Hi all, I am Brad Houston. I am the immediate past chair of the Records Management Roundtable, and I am the University Records Officer at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So I have been super entrenched in outreach recently. I've been giving a lot of presentations and workshops and talking to IT about moving over to Office 365. So anybody who's done work with SharePoint knows how fun that is. So I am not terribly sad to have a step down in my responsibility on this, but I'm still excited to keep working with the roundtable.
All right, Christy?
Oh, my turn, sorry. I'm Christy Peterson. I am the Records Management and Digital Archivist at Johns Hopkins University. A couple of things that I've been working on lately involve, I wrote a proposal for our library to come up with some technology so we can ingest records from SharePoint. Ooh.
Lucky you.
Yeah. And I'm also really gearing up for to start doing some web archiving related to capturing university records and using that as a management tool. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody else want to jump?
I'll jump in. This is Jenny. Hi, I'm Jenny Mundy. I'm the Records Officer and Electronic Records Management Analyst for Multnomah County. And I've been busy in the last few weeks training our new Records Management Analyst who's doing retention scheduling and managing our soon-to-be implemented software. We're working on purchasing HPRM, which used to be HP Trim. So we have, on the archives end of things, some exciting things to figure out after we get that in place, how to make it work with Archon, and if we want to upgrade to Archivist Toolkit, and how to make our digital archives workflow work with that system. I'm actually have a meeting this afternoon after this Hangout to figure that out with our IT folks. So some exciting projects. And then web archiving is also a thing we're looking into. I'll be at Best Practices Exchange in a couple weeks, so if any of y'all will be there, I'd love to talk with you. We're looking at Archive It, but would like to know what other options are out there that might work for us. So, yep, a lot of investigation.
Okay. Matt, want to go?
Yeah, sure. I'm Matthew Farrell. I'm the digital records archivist at the Duke University Archives and Rubenstein Library. I guess, upcoming, ongoing, we've been discussing with the corporate archives for J. Walter Thompson. We've been talking about acquiring their electronic records for the first time. We know they've been keeping them. We're not really sure how they've been keeping them, so we've kind of been having ongoing discussions with them about their records. Hopefully start by the end of the year. We are without kind of a full-time records management person here at the university. So recently we've had offices contact us saying they've developed their own schedules, and we kind of talked that through with them. The meeting coming up with one of the academic units on Tuesday about that. They sent us a copy, and there's some pretty vague concepts going on. So. Not officially scheduling, but kind of helping guide offices figure out what they should be doing.
All right. Era?
Hi, everyone. My name is Era Tansey, and I'm the Records Manager and Digital Archivist at the University of Cincinnati. And I'm just coming up on my one-year anniversary being here. One of the challenges I came into here, so, like many of you, I sort of have a dual title where I'm Records Manager and Digital Archivist. The good part about the records management part is it's been at the university for almost 30 years. The digital archives part, that's all new, so I'm getting to sort of move forward some of the traditions we've had and also put in some new things. My big challenge this year that I've been working on is we don't have a central record schedule for the university. So everyone kind of has their own record schedule, which is, as you can imagine, is logistically messy, as you can think. And so my first big priority before I can really work on a lot of the other digital projects is bringing everything together in a central record schedule. So that's been my project for this year.
And no small project that is.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Helen, did you want to say a little bit?
Well, I'm just your council liaison, and I did have experience or trying to apply records management when I was the archivist with the Pacific Island Network of the National Park Service. National Park actually has a very nice retention schedule that nobody follows, and
No.
especially in the Pacific, nobody knew it existed. So during my time there, I was trying to implement it, and actually had some pretty good some success in that, because people realized, like, really, we don't have to keep everything, or we don't have to throw away everything, and we're not sure what we do. I'm currently at the Daniel K. Inouye College of Pharmacy at the University of Hawaii, which is a good place because, like Era, our university has never had a records management system. And during my previous tenure here, I actually went into the Vice Chancellor's office and did a lot of purging and gave the Chancellor's office an idea of what type of records are permanent. And they're still not ready to encompass that because they cite financial constraints. So doing it here in the one specific college, and I'm in the process of doing that, is actually a good template for the rest of the university.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming to our meetings and helping us out and keeping us informed.
No, my pleasure.
So I guess my first question, and we've already started to address that, is what's a challenge that you're facing that I just want to say a little bit about, maybe that other people who are members of the roundtable would also be facing. And anyone can jump in.
I'll add myself to the list of people who were just saying that they are working in an environment where they do not have a history of records management. We're in that same boat. Also, additionally, are incredibly decentralized, and there is not a particularly strong guide or urge or vision from the top university-wide for us to engage in big picture, top-down records management. So attempting to instill records management principles and bring the benefits of it to an organization that maybe isn't ready to embrace all of the methodologies or the control inherent in those sort of things. That would be a big challenge for us.
I want to add something on to what Christy was saying with decentralization. I think that's really common at huge universities, which the University of Cincinnati is a huge university. The other challenge that I think I have, and I'm sure I'm not alone, is figuring out who I need to talk to get certain answers to things, particularly with staff turnover. That I think is a real challenge. Is who is the one person I need to talk to for various things to get answers?
Yeah, just Era, to add to that, I think it's important to note it's not always the person with the title. At the same time, you want to keep the person with the title involved. When I was a new records manager here at UWM, I decided I didn't need to talk to the department chair of a department, and I went straight to the secretary and got an angry email about a week later, copied to the library director about going over his head. And so that was a good month of trying to smooth things over.
Oh no.
Oh no. Is that another challenge?
Anyone else?
I'll throw out another one, is that we're attempting to work on a functions-based approach to records management rather than a traditional offices, one that would align with in a university-type setting, various offices trying to focus on a functional way, and that's a little different for organizations here in the U.S. So just kind of thinking through that and how that might work is kind of a challenge and a learning experience. I don't know if there's anyone else out there who might be interested or is doing that kind of work also.
Have you found examples?
Well, you have to go outside the U.S. primarily to like the Canadians or the Australians.
Right.
There are a couple of U.S. Organizations who have universities, and I'm of course blanking on who it is right now, who have done some preliminary work on it, but maybe haven't really fully implemented it and haven't kind of done it really on a big scale. It's to some extent uncharted territory.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're sharing some kind of challenges across our different types of organizations. Like that's definitely ones that we see too. Making sure the right people are involved. So what's something that's working well? What's something that you're excited about that you've had success with? So Brad, you were talking about a lot of outreach opportunities that were working well. So what's a highlight going on right now?
Well, from my perspective, I think it's just a lot of people are recognizing that records management is something that they need to be doing, and in particular, people are recognizing that electronic records management is a thing that they need to be doing. And I sort of had some success when I first got here, and there was a huge wave of sort of introducing myself to everybody. But I think I'm sort of catching my second wave after doing the Archives Leadership Institute and trying to get myself out there and reminding people that, oh yeah, records management is important. And I'll go to these departments and do these presentations, and people are always gratified that they can manage their stuff more easily or get rid of these records that they were keeping for God knows how long. So yeah, it's been it's still a challenge, but I'm feeling very, very gratified.
Okay. Anyone else? Highlights? Things that are going well?
We've also had some success with outreach. We helped host with my SAA famous colleague Terry Baxter the Oregon Archives crawl a few weekends ago. That was really great. So there were 3 different locations where different archives from around the state gathered and had tables. That was a really good outreach opportunity for us. I think we had less visitors this year than we did in the past, but all of the people I interacted with had familiarity with archives and wanted to know more and asked deeper questions than just, oh, I stumbled across it and wandering through. So less folks, but better interaction. Several hundred people coming through, so that was cool. And then also we've been doing, as far as outreach, offering 3-hour trainings that are intro to managing electronic records. And out of a lot of those, people have told us about archives that they have sort of, oh, you know, we're clearing out an office and found this stuff, didn't know who to give it to. We're like, oh, we'll take it. But it's been a positive outreach opportunity for us.
One thing that, speaking about outreach things, one thing that I'm really excited about that I was invited to speak at, the university has a huge staff organization for non-represented, non-unionized staff, and they do this monthly sort of lecture and lunch where they invite someone from the university. Often it's the president or the provost or the alumni foundation head or the campaign chairperson. But I was invited to give a talk about email in a couple of weeks. And so even though my guidelines for what they want me to talk about, it's maybe not the same guidelines I would have given myself. I'm delighted that I'm going to have a huge audience of people, just so that, I feel like a big success is just letting people know I exist and what we do. So I'm really excited to have that audience because it's a pretty big staff organization that a lot of people go to.
Cool.
I would add to that, similar, this is not at my current institution, at a previous institution there was an annual kind of like staff development day where much of the staff could take half a day or a whole day off of their normal duties and could kind of attend different sessions, almost like a mini conference on campus, right? And we had kind of lobbied for one of those sessions being an introduction to records management, and that was something where we were able to make connections with, there were a few kind of usual suspects people there, like the information security people there and a couple of other, like someone from the registrar's office, but it was really positive to see people that we had kind of no connection with prior attend this session. It was really
And I've been here for a little over 2 years, and between myself and the university archivist who's been here about 2.5 years, we're just now starting to really reap benefits from exactly the kind of activities you guys are talking about. And it's a really exciting moment to be at, where we're getting calls from people who say, oh, so-and-so told me that I should contact the
that's always gratifying.
I did the opposite approach at the Park Service, where I held a series of brown bag lunches and invited, although I invited the administrative assistants, their supervisors were all very well aware of it. So I found that if you got their buy-in, they would report back to their division heads and say, oh my God, this is wonderful, this is going to clean up our offices and such. So it was kind of a lower level buy-in.
What are the biggest issues that people are contacting your offices about? Is email, like you mentioned, one of the big ones?
Well, we're lucky. We've got Google Apps for Government, and it's got a backend called Postini, which I guess is going to switch over to Google Vault soon. So it's all managed in the background, and we only have to download out the ones that have permanent historic value. So, yay! I'm an advocate now for Google Apps for Government for that reason. So much easier than Outlook was for us in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I'm sure you remember last year, we had done the capstone talk with Ariane Robinbach and I, and yeah, so we also have Google Apps for Government at the National Archives, and with the ZL Technologies backend. So, yeah, email is something that is still coming up all the time. A huge challenge. So it's a regular topic of conversation, and I'm sure we all have different approaches to dealing with it. So I'll jump in. One thing I'm excited about now is I'm thinking about policies for text and instant messaging. And so, as you've probably seen in the news, these are topics that have come up. And so we're thinking about that. Kind of trying to explore what the challenges are for agencies, and if we can come up with some best practices on how to address that. Other than a policy of just don't use it, or just prohibit creating records. And so I think in this environment, it's kind of it's hard to do. I mean, people are going to use the tools that are available to them. Yeah. And they may end up creating records. And so if that happens, what should we do? Instead of just the approach of just locking it all down. Especially in mobile environments. I mean, people have their work phones and they have their personal phones, and what are they doing with those? So that's something I'm excited about. And if anybody has thoughts on that, or if they have ways to address it, we'd love to hear that. So, I guess the next question, any other highlights? Okay, the next question is, how can people get involved with what we have going on with the roundtable right now? So some things that we want to try to do more of are some of these hangouts. So if anyone out there watching this, either now or later, you have a topic that you want to talk about, we'd love to we can make it a little more formal. We can have you present for a few minutes and then have some questions and answers on a topic. I think one that we're thinking of right now is social media capture. Matt McClelland, who's not able to join us today, he wants to talk about that, and I can talk a little bit about that too. If anyone else is interested in that topic, let me know. So social media, scheduling, capture, anything related to that. Anyone else have any other ideas or anything you want to talk about? In the past, we've talked about email, web archiving. Brad did a presentation on tools for records managers, kind of the essential tools to know. And I'm sure that these topics aren't exhausted, so if we want to do another one, we could do that.
Has anyone ever raised the idea of doing a joint hangout with maybe the Appraisal Roundtable?
Oh, cool.
That's a good idea.
Because I feel like, I know that I think when you guys did, this was before I was on the steering committee, but I think when you did the web archiving one, that was with the web archiving roundtable, right? Yeah, so I think it's really cool to do these hangouts with other roundtables or other sections, and I feel like the appraisal one would be a really good overlap.
Yeah, that's good. So Christy, you had mentioned before that you wanted to do a series of interviews on the blog, on the schedule blog. You want to talk about that?
I think we maybe lost Christy.
Oh, we lost her.
Oh no.
Okay, well then I'll say as much as I know about that. She wanted to interview people for posts on the schedule. And so if you want to answer some questions about your job, you would like to put together a post. or do a series of those. Another opportunity to get involved. In the past, we had started working on a thesaurus, functional thesaurus, and if you are interested in working on that or would like to lead that effort, I'd be interested in talking to you about that. So, anything else you want to share with people?
Well, I don't know about any particular things, but I just would encourage anybody who is interested in getting involved to send an email to a member of the steering committee. I mean, that's how I got involved when I first started, and we almost always have a number of things going on, even if we're not necessarily publicizing them best we can. So if you have an idea of something you'd like to see the roundtable do, of course, that's an opportunity to step up and propose that as well.
Mm-hmm. And as opportunities come up, we'll try to put that on the blog or to send it out in an email to try to get more people involved. So I think for the next year, what we're planning on is continuing the schedule posts. You'll see the members of the roundtable posting there on various topics. We would welcome guest bloggers as well. So if anyone who's watching would like to just write on a topic, that could be a platform to use. You don't have to start your own blog. You can just use ours. And then continuing to hear from you and to figure out what kind of tools you might need to do your job better, what kind of platform you might need. We just want to hear from all of you and figure out how we can serve you best. So, does anyone have anything else?
Nope, other than if you're going to be at Best Practices Exchange in Montgomery this month, come find me and say hey. I'll be the gal from Portland wearing probably too much plaid. So.
We have a question in the questions and answers.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there some good methods for discussing the need for records and information management at your organization?
So I mentioned in my introduction that we've been contacted recently by offices that have their homegrown records retention schedules. And those have been, this may not be exactly what you're looking for, but those have been actually really effective internally in advocating for increased level of funding for records management activities. We are now kind of in talks to add that to the budget, for the next or 2 budget cycles out maybe. So having those opportunities where someone comes to you with a huge question that no one had considered before can help advocate to your superiors for increased presence.
As I say, for us, I've been trying to stay involved in sustainability efforts at our organization and voice the usefulness of limiting the amount of software we have to purchase and hardware and paper and all the little bits and odds and ends that we just kind of assume are important for records management, but folks get passionate about that, and it's a way of saying, hey, we'll help limit what needs to be kept and preserve what's important for however long it needs to be. And so that's been one venue to get records management talked about a little bit more.
Let's see. There is somewhere a records management business case toolkit, and of course now I can't find it. But it's actually really good. It's sort of a here are some talking points that you can use to convince your management or whoever that records management, yes, it is important. It's not just another one of those things that you have to do. It's something that you should be doing to increase efficiency and protect your organization. I'm trying to, if I find it, I'll post it to the blog post as a comment under this.
Yeah, that's a good point about different resources that you find valuable. I know that we've probably shared some on the schedule on the blog, but there's probably many other tools. So yeah, that one that you mentioned, Brad. Those would be good if we would share those tools with each other. Yeah, I'm trying to see what we have on the microsite on SAA. We have just a heads up that we are putting up our past meeting minutes there, so you can see what we've talked about in our meetings. Let's see, we have some other slides from past years, so we're working on getting that part of the website cleaned up and try to share all of the good stuff. Something that is coming up is we are going to be voting on the bylaws changes, and we're just emailing back and forth with SAA on that today. We're going to put the suggested bylaws up on that microsite, and we'll link to that there for when you go to vote on whether you say yes or no to our bylaws changes. So that's something that will be coming up for membership. Okay, well, do we have anything else to add? We can keep it short today. I'll tell you, this has been a learning experience for me, and this will be good as we move forward and do more of these hangouts and getting this experience. All right, well, I thank you all for joining us today and for watching. And if you have any suggestions or comments on how we can do this better in the future, we'd love to hear. So thank you, everyone.
Mahalo.
Thanks.
Thank you all.